goes to Tampa. You guys are still friends. Are you talking on the phone? You miss Ron?
I did. And Ron, Ron's one of those guys, kind of like my dad. They're not going to show much emotion. Tough. He was always that tough guy. They're not going to hug you, nothing like that. So the one of the times that Ron called me from Tampa, this when I was in New York, and I was having that success, and I know he was happy for me. But the conversation went, why me? Like, why him? Because as he looked back, he was amazing. Teammate-wise, anything the coaches asked him to do, he'd do it. And so he was trying to really display how disappointed he was and how things turned out for him. Why did he end up in Tampa? He's a heck of a ball player. Why am I in Tampa? Why did the place...
Tampa was purgatory then.
It really was.
Yeah.
It really was. Why would, why did I have these problems in the city of Dallas when all I did was try to do business in Dallas? Ron was basically a Renaissance man. He wasn't just a good athlete, he was a good businessman. Mm-hmm. People recognized him for that. They recognized him as a leader. And those kind of things, those are questions that he was asking me on that phone call. And that's when I was having that good year in '90. You could see that we were, as a team, headed somewhere. And that was a tough conversation. It was a tough phone call. He was. That's the first time he'd ever played to me like that. And it made you, realize how blessed you were. We were at that time, and how blessed I was at that point versus what he was going through.
It had to have almost been a shocking phone call. This is the guy who propped everybody up.
That's right.
This is the guy who gravitated to you because you were negative Nelly.
That's right.
And fixed you in some manner. Mm-hmm. And a lot of other people on that
helped me
Cowboys
adapt.
team.
He helped me adapt.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and no doubt he helped me adapt. And in my own city, by the way, in my own city, he helped me adapt. And so, just hearing that, of course, didn't blow him off at all. And, it wasn't, I didn't have to say much to him, but just let him, sometimes you just have to let people know that you are aware. And I let him know that I was aware of, the stuff that he did for all of us. Dorsett, Tony Hill, Butch Johnson, Billy Joe Dupree, Tom Landry. I'm telling you, Tom Landry enjoyed being around him. Everyone enjoyed having him around. So once again, the question was, why me? And I thought that was a very good question.
Well, we heard it again later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
So he retired. Did you guys retire at the same time? When did
No, he was already out.
Was he?
Of course, he came all the way, drove. He was living in Ohio at the time, doing great business in construction. As well as he was doing the construction, he still wanted to ask that question. But he drove down from Ohio, from Cleveland, all the way down to Tampa to see the game. He was not going to miss his boy playing that game. So he can talk all the trash he wants. He used to tease me about, you ain't this, you ain't that, you'll never be as good as I was. We always talk trash to each other. He drove all the way down. He drove all the way down. He got sick from the drive. Yeah, he sure did. He got sick from the drive. And he was there for me. He didn't get to come to the game because he got sick. But no, he came down for me and of course the family. Because at that point, Ron he's family, Adrian's family. Our kids are, at that time we had both had young kids. Yeah, we both had our 2 young kids, and they were even hanging together at that age. So seeing him there kind of completed everything because all my people came. And so with him being there, that kind of sewed everything up right there.
When did you begin to know that Ron wasn't doing good?
When Ron and I both had retired, I ended up retiring in '93, and Ron ended up moving back down to Dallas. He wanted his kids to grow up in Dallas. And we started to work together.
Think he moved back to Dallas because you were there? Think that had something
He
to do
moved.
with it?
I think it made it convenient that we were there. because his wife, Adrian and Sherelle were tight as well. I think it was convenient. It may have been Adrian's idea. Actually, when I think about it, it may have been Adrian's idea. So they moved back down. Ron's setting up everything. We started working together. We were promoting events, doing a great job, having a good time. Me and him together all the time. We're together all the time. So I could see that his physical abilities were waning a little bit. And when I say that, I mean even reading. I know people. Sometimes their eyes go bad, but it just seemed to be so swift because just a year ago you were reading just fine. Now you can't read.
He wasn't that old when you noticed. No, 41.
No, well, we weren't even in our 40s yet. I don't believe. That's what I'm saying. We weren't even in our 40s yet. And he also we play basketball as part of our promotions as well. Now we're getting a little older. But we still got game.
Good basketball.
Still got game, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, but he didn't. He was always that guy, the barrel chest, the lean legs, the left hand. Physical. He was always that guy, agile. He can put it up with either hand. He was good. And he was just, I don't know if he's being lazy or, sometimes we have fun out there like Globetrotters and do silly stuff. So I'm like, it just didn't seem like, it didn't look like the same stuff that we had always been doing. And so it just seemed like he was weak. And then all of a sudden things just started happening. He lost a toe. He lost a toe. Like, what you lost a toe? How do you lose a toe? I knew about diabetes, but growing up, that's not what my family dealt with. We have high blood pressure, things of that nature. That's not our cross to bear. Just so happened it's his family's. And so it just started to happen real fast. It just started happening real fast. One toe, all his toes, in the foot.
When did he tell you? I mean, did he tell you, oh, by the way,
Well, when they lost the toe, he really tried to downplay it, like a toenail.
Right.
Yeah. They just shaved it. Like,
shaved it.
Shaved it. I believe that's the term.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the term he used. Made it sound real benign. No big deal. So, we're still taking care of business, We're still going around doing some things, and I could just, like I said, he stopped being able to see the pages. He was trying to read the Bible one day. He and this guy were getting into it, real, spiritual conversation about why this guy should donate to our cause. So somehow the Bible got involved, but he couldn't read it. He and the guy gave him some readers, and he still couldn't hardly read it. Like, man, your eyes are that bad? Well, you need glasses. So it just, all of that started happening at the same time. Then next thing you know, like I said, his toes going. When he lost his foot, we had already stopped working together by that time. When he lost his foot, then you could see depression setting in. That got him. That got him.
Did you know then that he had diabetes?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Once he lost the toes. We knew diabetes was the cause of it, but you just don't know how to see it.
But he didn't tell you, right?
No.
For the longest period of time.
Nope. And I'm not surprised.
Because he didn't want your relationship to change. You're boys. You're hanging out. You're men. You do what men do.
I don't think it had anything to do with our relationship as much as he's one of those guys, and we know a bunch of them, just foolish pride. Just foolish pride. That's all it is to it. Didn't want to tell anybody. Not even family. I mean, Adrian knew, but don't tell anybody. And that's just, I grew up with guys like that. I have family members like that, uncles, grandfathers, they were like that. So that's just, I wouldn't even say it's a black man thing. That's just an old man thing. It's a man thing.
Mm-hmm.
We don't, everybody, they just don't want that. They don't want you looking at them differently.
Well, and also it's a man football player thing too.
Oh, no doubt. That's just a whole nother layer. And then you have to look at it like this. He was somewhat afraid as well. So fear makes you do a lot of things in sometimes illogical ways.
Or not do things.
Right. And once everything hit the bag, everybody was, Ron's not going to let you feel sorry for him. So things were going well. When he got his foot cut off, he got a little bit depressed. And it took him about a month. And then all of a sudden, I don't know if it was prayer, because Ron was actually very spiritual, both sides of the family. But he came out of the hospital uplifted. And the first thing he said to me was, Walls, let's go work out. I want to be ready for when I get that transplant. Because he knew by that time he knew he was going to need one.
Right.
Everything's out now. Everything's.
And do you know this now too? Dialysis is what it is, right?
Yes.
But you didn't know because
this
dialysis is what that's what he's doing. It's going to keep him alive. We're good to go. And then finally you find out.
I had to go pick him up from dialysis to go work out.
Right.
And so he was already in a wheelchair because he lost a foot. And even though he hadn't got his prosthesis yet, he was still trying to get up and do some things on the one foot as far as transferring from his wheelchair to the machine, to the workout machine. So that's how we worked out. So he was upbeat all the time. I mean, we went through some pretty intimate things. I mean, he needed help doing some things I never thought I'd help a guy do before. Mm-hmm. But hey, man, that's the stuff you worry about when you're 20 something. Yeah, we 40 some years old by now. It's, I got to take care of my boy. Mm-hmm. He needs help. So it was seamless. He had to do what he had to do. He didn't feel anything bad about it. No foolish pride about that. By this time, he's ready for whatever's going to happen. And so he was really back to the old Ron Springs.
Did he have any, because now he's on a list to get a kidney. Mm-hmm. And prior to you doing what you did he get a kidney, or did he almost get a kidney, or any of that ever happened?
Well, he had two relatives. Chris was a relative, he was a cousin, I believe. And Chris and Ron were of the same make, the same build, the same skin color. You could tell they were family. And so you would think they would be compatible, which they were. Mm-hmm. But Chris had kidney problems. So let you know.
So was Chris ready to give him a kidney?
That's why he came down and did the test. Chris didn't know he had kidney problems until he came down to get tested to donate. And then he finds out about his own kidney problems. Mm-hmm. And then he had a niece that was going to give. Well, she got pregnant. Accident or not, she got pregnant.
But that was a kick in the jump.
Yes, it was. Mm-hmm. And that kicked me in the jump. Because when he told me about her, that's when we were working out, and that's when I immediately stopped lifting. And I tell people all the time, I used to get mad about a lot of stuff. I was a crybaby when I was a kid. I used to get mad about everything, because I was spoiled. My mom spoiled me to death. And so if something didn't go right, I'd get angry. But sometimes anger is a good thing. And that prompted me right there to move forward with this. At that moment, I made up my mind. Right there.
So he told you, my niece is not able to give me this kidney.
He didn't even want to tell me.
This is the second time you've heard this.
Because Chris already.
Right.
And now her.
Right.
And I just happened to bring it up. He didn't bring it up. I brought it up. He said, he didn't even want to say it. He said, no, man, it didn't work out. Now, granted, when he's put on this list, I believe the doctor said he only had 5 years.
Mm-hmm. Where are we now?
3. 3 has passed.
So we got a year and a
3
half.
years have passed.
A year and a half left.
Yeah.
For someone to come.
And then when you say 5 years, it's not like you can just go in and say, okay, 4 years and
right. It's my time.
Yeah. It's by that time it's gonna be tougher to take whatever you got to take.
Right.
A lot of damage each day more damage.
Right.
Each day more dialysis. So
you were watching him die.
Yeah, basically, and watching him on dialysis was crazy. That looked unsettling. It was extremely unsettling.
I can't stand hospitals anyway, and that must have been a whole bunch of people looked like they were all going to die.
Yeah, and that wasn't even how. There's a clinic. There's a little room of people in there with those machines. Sound like sleep apnea machines or whatever. So it was unsettling. So going to pick him up from there, I hated doing that. He couldn't wait to get out, But of course, entertained everybody in there. If he shows up, everybody happy to see him. Everybody's having this typical stuff. So his mentality was back, and he was back to that same old Ron. So once I told him, I immediately got up off the bench and I said, "Hey man," I said, "what is happening? Like what is going on?" I said, "Man," I said something like, "Do I have to do everything around here?" Because at that time I had already started working out with him, and I was just making a joke, kind of. But it's like, man, I said, "Give me the number. Give me the doctor's number. Who do I have to call? Give me the number."
How did you know you were the same blood type?
I didn't. I just wanted to take the test.
Oh.
That's all. I just wanted to take the test. I just wanted to take the test. That was the whole point of me. Just let me try. That's what was my thing. Let me try. Let me take a whack at this. What's your blood type? Oh, positive. Me too. Boom. Let's go from there. Of course, it's more than that, but that's good. That's the start. And so I was optimistic. There was no. This guy named Hugh Green.
Mm-hmm.
Hugh Green, he's a good friend of mine. He always jokes with me. Before I was able to give the kidney, he was looking at me like, "You can't back out now, man. It's too late." So he would always,
that thought ever occurred to you?
tease me, right? Exactly. That's how he was looking at me like, I know you want to back out. But no, it never did. I remember talking to the doctor. I talked to his doctor. I'll never forget this meeting. Oh my God, this appointment with his doctor. I think it was Ron's doctor. I can't remember. Maybe it was my doctor. And it was 2 weeks before the surgery. I'm ready, man. We've done everything. I'm so ready, man. I'm gonna fix my boy up. No second thoughts or nothing. I had already told the family. They got surprised a little bit, so I smoothed things out with everybody. Got my affairs in order. Let's do this, man. Oh my goodness. Take care of my boy. So the doctor comes in. No, the nurse comes in first during the meeting. She stands over to the side, like head down. She's like, "What just did? What's happening? Is something wrong with me?" And he comes in. He's real cool. He goes, "Hey, just want to let you know, I really admire what you're doing here, and I know this is good." But he was worried about because the media had gotten involved. Because everyone found out about it. We tried to keep it a secret. Ron's son came out with it. Big mouth, just like
Sean?
his dad. Sean Springs came out with it. He wasn't supposed to, but he's worse than Ron. Can't shut up. So now it's out. So the doctor was concerned that with the publicity, because you don't really get much publicity with kidney donation. Mm-hmm. He was afraid that I was being unduly pressured by the media, which was nothing further from the truth. And I just let him know, "Doc, I'm good, man." I said, "Don't scare me like that." I thought something was wrong. He was ready to, he said, "I will say anything you want me to say so that you can save face." That's what he said.
He was giving you an out.
He was giving me an out.
He sensed that you possibly needed an out.
He did.
Mm-hmm.
And
but he didn't get that from you. So
no, he was worried.
He got it from other people.
Well, as a doctor, you got to anticipate this kind of stuff.
Right.
So this is extremely unusual. No one gets this kind of publicity over kidney transplant, which is the way we try to, keep it. But it got out. So we didn't want the hospital to be inundated with all this crap, and so I told the doctor. I said, "Doc, I'm so ready, man." And I guess he was relieved, and I was relieved too because I didn't know what the heck was going on. But no, once that meeting was done, it was downhill from there, man. It was smooth sailing, and having to smooth over with my mom was tough.
What about your wife or your kids?
Oh no, Sherelle already knew. She already knew what was going to happen. She
Right.
knew she couldn't change my mind. As a matter of fact, I think she was kind of happy because it's Ron. It's Adrian. That's her friend. She don't want Ron to go nowhere. Nobody did. So that's, it was, for her, it was pretty.
And it was an answer to a question that you guys had now known was a question for 5-6 years. Maybe not quite that long. 4 years. Ron is sick.
Yes.
And then it progresses. Ron is going to die.
Yeah. We had many conversations about that to where we knew something was going on. And, you have to respect their wishes.
Sure.
Best friends or not, sometimes you just don't want everybody to know everything.
Right.
And so at that point, we're moving forward, ready to go. Talk to mom. She's good. Talk to dad. He tried to play tough, but I know he was nervous. Mom was so mad at me when I told her, but then when we get to the operating room, she's taking selfies and everything with the ride. She's like the star of the room. You know, as nervous as she was, she couldn't stop taking pictures with everybody. That was so cool. She was having too much fun. Too much fun. And you know, there was never a lot of stuff could have happened. I mean, a lot of stuff could happen. I just never saw it, and it never did. I never anticipated it. Just ready, man. I mean, just ready. When we got wheeled in there, it's almost like I was on automatic pilot. And as I think about it now, I was very naive, but
Well, maybe not. Maybe God was guiding you.
he was. Oh, there's no doubt about it. When I say automatic pilot, yeah, that's what I mean. He was driving.
Right.
No, he was driving.
Right.
And you know, I've never felt so effortless before.
And so it went smooth.
It was smooth.
Came out of surgery. They said you're fine. You said.
And he was already eating food.
Were you in the same room?
Same day. No, I couldn't have been in his room. He was making too much noise. They told me to get some rest. I didn't see him for like a half a day. They told me to get some rest after surgery. And they said, hey, the quicker you get up and start walking, the quicker you get out of here. So, you know, later on that day, I'm walking. And so I was walking with my medicine thing, and I hear all this noise coming down the hallway, and Ron is having a party down there. Everybody's in Ron's room. Everybody's in Ron's room. I wake up to no one. Here I am. I sacrificed all of this. Man.
You could have died too.
Right, I could be dead now. You guys in that party, and I could have had some problems. Man, I remember going in there, man. The funniest thing ever happened was he said, he was eating like salmon and food. He was eating, they told me I couldn't have anything but oatmeal and yogurt. And I was upset about that. Because, you know, I was hurting. When you lose something, you could feel that on that donation. You could feel it. Now, you're going to be covered, but it is clear that you have lost something when you wake up. You don't know, but it's clear.
So there are pieces inside of you, and they all fit in a certain way. Now you're missing a piece.
I'm missing a piece. He's going, whoa. Hey, man, come on in here. And I tell people all the time, it's the closest he's ever come to saying he loves me. He didn't say it, but the look, he was smiling. I've never seen him smile.
I'm alive.
I'm alive. And I'm talking shit again. Hey, thank you. He was having so much fun. And I recall looking at his face. And before surgery, you have an infection. You know, when your kidney's not right, the infection comes out in your skin and your eyes. So I guess his eyes were jaundiced. Yeah, and he didn't look good before surgery. And bumps like acne, but it wasn't. It was just poison. And it was gone. It was gone. We still a day of the surgery. It was gone.
As if a hand went over him and said, "You're healed."
It was gone. It was gone. And I'd heard of that a lot afterwards. I know when a person got a kidney transplant, they received a kidney, a little Asian kid. I just happened to know him through this whole kidney thing. And they said he urinated on the table. He had never urinated by himself. As he came out of, as he woke up, he was urinating on the table. That's how quickly the kidney makes a difference in your body. And that just amazed me. So he's up there laughing, having a good time. I stayed for as long as I could, but I wanted to keep walking because I want to get the heck out of there. That's right.
I got shit to do.
Right. So everybody's just having a good time with him. Eventually, some people came back to the room with me, but no, I recall going home. I felt a little weird. I remember my son was driving. I was like, man, it kind of hit me like, man, for some reason it took till I checked out. When I was in the hospital, it was no big deal, but all of a sudden, like, what had happened? Why was I feeling so weak at that time? I don't know what it was, just probably some medication or whatever. But my son had to drive me home, and usually I'm the one driving. And I felt like, wow, this is real. My son's driving me. I wonder how he feels. don't want to be worried, but they strong. And like, that was the first time it really hit me at that point. That was it. I don't know why I waited to the end.
You gave away a body part.
Yeah.
Now you were different. Now you are also more susceptible.
Yeah.
When did you get past that?
Huh?
When did you get past that?
I don't know. I really don't. It just, when you're an athlete, it's like you do your routine and then it is. It just is.
Mm-hmm.
We accept a lot.
Sure.
And when I ever think about, it's funny. When I ever think about my last days, kidney never comes into the equation.